In this example, we're going to be working with cost saving for owning a car and annuities. So the example says, suppose that you drive 40,000 miles per year and gas average is $4 per gallon. Part A. What would you save in annual fuel expenses by owning a hybrid car which the averaging 40 miles per gallon rather than an SUV that averages 16 miles per gallon? So to find the annual fuel expense for the hybrid first, let's write it right here for the hybrid. Okay, I'm going to take the annual miles driven divided by the number of gallons. So the 40,000 divided by the number of gallons. So the top one is the annual miles driven divided by the miles per gallon. And I'm going to multiply that times the price of each gallon, which in this case is $4. Once you do that, you're going to get 4,000. Okay? So now I'm going to do it for the SUV. So it's the 40,000 miles. But now the SUV is 16 gallons times the cost, which is $4. And once you do that multiplication, you're going to get with 10,000. Now, if you look at both of these types of cars, you have the hybrid and the SUV. Which one would you be saving more money if you were to buy the hybrid or the SUV? The one with the lowest price per gallon is the 40,000, the hybrid. So you want to find out how much you would be saving if you were to go with a hybrid versus the SUV. So you simply are going to subtract. And then that gives you the 6,000. So let's say that when you were going to buy your cars, you decided to go with this hybrid, therefore you're going to be saving this amount of money. Now you want to know how much you'll be saving per year. So you take this and divide it by 12. So you have the 6,000 divided by 12 and you get 500. So now what do I do with that $500 that I'm going to be saving every month, right? So we do an annuity, and that's the second part of the example. But let's see what it says. It says, if you decide your monthly fuel savings at the end of each month into an annuity that pays 5.2 compound monthly, how much would you have saved at the end of the 6 years? So the formula for an annuity is this one right here. There are several things that you need to know in order to be able to do this formula. You need to know the principal, the rate, the number of periods, and the time. Okay? So let's write down the information that we have. So for the principal, we're going to be taking the 500. The rate, they told us the rate. It says 5.2%. So change that percent to a decimal. N is annually. So we're going to have 12 in each year. And then time. For how long did they say? They say for 6 years. So now we have all the information that we need in order to substitute those values into our formula. So we don't have much space, but I think I can type it right over here. Let's use a different color marker so we're able to see it properly. So I have the 500. I have a bracket, parentheses, 1 plus the rate, 0.052 divided by 12 times 12 times 6, running out of space, there, divided by 0.052 over 12. And you're going to take this and write it into the calculator so you can determine what is the value. So before I type this into the calculator, let me write down how is it supposed to look before we try to type it in, because sometimes we make mistakes, we forget parentheses, and it's just a disaster. And I have this going. 1 plus 12 times 6 minus 1, close parentheses. So let's double check. Close, close, close. Need one more. Divided by, running out of space, divided by 12. So the difficult part is in the top part, the numerator. So I'm going to start with parentheses. Then it's 500. Parentheses, parentheses. 1 plus parentheses 0.052 divided by 12. Close parentheses. Close parentheses, exponent, 12 times 6, bring it down, and we go minus 1, and we have 2 sets of parentheses to close, 1 and 2. So let me double check to make sure. I have 1, 2, 3, and it should be another one in the front. And now I'm going to go divided by, open parentheses, 0.052 divided by 12, close parentheses. Forward to 1, 2. Can do that, but let's see. Enter. And we get 42,142, and if we round to a whole number, it would just be 142 that you could have saved if you went with a hybrid. And where do we write that? Let's just, for the annuity, which some good savings. So we found the difference between buying a hybrid and how much you can save in gas versus buying an SUV. We used those values to compute an annuity with the savings, and it gave us this amount. And those are your answers for this example.